Hello, I am going to be making Reese cups today, and the main step that I'm going to be doing is chocolate tempering. So, what I have on my stove heating right now is I have two pots stacked. This bottom pot has uh, some water in it, so when that heats up, it'll heat up this top pot, and this top pot is where I'm actually going to be melting the chocolate. Now, when you temper chocolate, what you're doing is you're actually trying to get a specific crystal structure in the cocoa butter that's in chocolate. Now, cocoa butter is the lipid in chocolate. About 60% of it is saturated fatty acids. And cocoa butter can form about two different crystal structures. The first one that you're um, maybe familiar with is has a lower melting point around 79 degrees Fahrenheit. This isn't very good for candies or other chocolate desserts. The second one, which is the beta crystal, actually has a melting point about 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, when you cool chocolate, if you cool it quickly, that's how you form the first crystal with a lower melting point. But if you want the beta crystal, what you want is uh, what you call tempering, where you hold it at a certain temperature, typically between 84 and 90 degrees. So I will be using dark chocolate, which tends to be a few degrees higher than milk chocolate when used. So the first step is we're going to melt the dark chocolate in this hot pot and get it around 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Once all the chocolate's evenly at that temperature, we're going to cool it to about uh, 84 degrees. And then once we get it down to that temperature, we're actually going to heat it up again, back up to 90. And 90 degrees is what our working temperature is going to be. And to keep track of this, we have this chocolate thermometer that we're just going to keep in the pot here, making sure it doesn't touch the sides of the bottom, only keep in contact with the chocolate. Um, Another way of cooling the chocolate, which is more of the professionals' way, is uh, to empty out 2/3 of the chocolate onto like a marble or granite slab and just spread it around, making sure it's nice and evenly cooled. And once that 2/3 is down to the 80 so degrees, you add it back to the other third, mix it together, and altogether it should be about 90 degrees, which is your working temperature. So, we should be able to start putting in our chocolate in this hot pot. And then we're just going to stir the chocolate and make sure we get it to nice temperature with this thermometer. So this is the initial heating. We're going to get it to 122 degrees. Once we get it to 122 degrees is when we cool it. Once we get it down to that about 80 to 84 degrees Fahrenheit, we're actually going to heat it back again to 90 degrees. So with the second method I mentioned with the marble slab, what that's doing is basically creating this beta crystals in the cold 2/3, and they call that the seed crystal. That way when you add it to the hotter portion, uh, more of the cocoa butter can build on top of that crystal structure. And that is how we're going to be tempering.